Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we are going to take a look at a figure from a company that we have not looked at in a very long time. The last time we looked at one of these, it was their Tyrannosaurus Rex, but this time we are going to take a look at the Recur Triceratops. This is only my second ever Recur figure, and I am not going to lie to you guys, I am definitely impressed. I had scoped out a lot of the Recur figures a while back, and for some reason the images online are kind of deceiving, I think. A lot of them make the figures look like they're just not really too highly detailed or anything like that, and they're gonna look more like toys as opposed to good models, but actually when you get them in person, it's really quite a different experience. Because the Tyrannosaurus Rex was really impressive to me. I really liked that figure. It was a very Jurassic Park type inspired T-Rex, and that was a big plus in my opinion, and overall I felt like that figure was really beautiful, and this is pretty much the same feeling I'm getting here with this Triceratops. It is much better in person than I expected it to be. It really has a beautiful look to it, and a very striking appearance with the way the sculpt is. Kind of gives me the feeling that maybe the Triceratops is alarmed. I would like to see like a diorama with a bunch of these Triceratops kind of circling around with some infants behind it, because it really gives me the feeling that it's in like a very defensive pose, like maybe a pack of Tyrannosaurs have just shown up and they're just kind of circling their young to try to protect them. Really giving me that kind of a feeling as far as the sculpt goes. But let's get a closer look so we can see just how nice the sculpt is up close. So taking a look at the head sculpt up close, you can see very nice sculpt work here in the nostril area. That area looks really beautiful. And if we go to the beak, look how insanely nice this sculpt work is of the beak. There is so much incredible detail all sculpted throughout the beak. That's really impressive to me, and they've done a great job with the way they painted it. It's like a dark brown, but then it appears as though they gave like a light brown wash or something kind of throughout, and it really helps to make all that detail just jump out and pop at you. And it's very similar to the way that they've done it up here on the horns. I think the horns are all painted that same way with that light brown wash and the darker brown to really bring out the detail. And honestly, I think it looks great the way that they've done that, and really beautiful looking. As you look at the eye is painted really nicely. There doesn't really appear to be any sloppiness or anything. This eye might be looking down a little bit, and that eye might be looking up a little bit, so the eyes aren't perfectly placed as far as where the pupils go, but they do still look really quite nice. I think the sculpt work and detail all around the eye also looks really beautiful. And the entire paint application on the head has been done so well. I love that they've started out kind of with a like light lime green almost, and then dry brushed this dark green all over to really bring out the insanely nice sculpt work that they have on it. But at the same time, they've also included some other variants of brown, like in this general area, you can take note of it, and then up here on the top of the head, to really give it some nice skin tone and a variation of color. I think that's really nicely done and a beautiful touch on the part of Recur. If you look inside the mouth, the entire mouth is all just one solid color. It's like a reddish, pinkish type of a color. But overall, it looks pretty nice and definitely serves the purpose that it's there for. There's a very nice realistic looking gloss to it as well. So that's a definite plus as far as the realism of the figure. And then if we come up here into the frill, look how really beautiful the sculpt work is on the frill. That's actually really impressive to me, just how nice looking that is. The overall skin texture is so incredibly realistic looking that is very impressive, and even the little spikes and stuff that run along the edge of the frill are all sculpted and painted really nicely with that dark brown, that same similar brown that we have up here, and they've all been given that light wash, it appears, to really bring out the detail. And overall, you can again take note of so many different variations of green and everything all throughout, and even some hints of like a greenish brown to really give it that very realistic skin tone type of a look as far as variation of color. Great job by Recur on that area as well. And then as you start to lead down the neck, you can start to really see some nice skin folds and everything, and wrinkling of the skin going on. You get into the shoulder, really huge shoulder bone here, shoulder blade sticking out, that's very noticeable, very nicely done. Nice musculature that you can kind of take note of here in the leg, right in this general area. As we move down into the foot, the nails are really painted quite nicely and also have that very realistic gloss on them as well, really giving them a very real shine and generally making them look very realistic. It's actually quite impressive just how realistic the nails do look to me. They honestly have that perfect nail type shine. They've done such a great job there. And then we move back up into the stomach, and you can really see the nice sculpting of the skin. It really gives you that large animal feel with the way it's been sculpted, and I think they've done that perfectly. Once again, you can really see that green dry brushing that they've done everywhere, but there is also this variation of green throughout, all sorts of different variations of greens and browns that really help to bring it to life. And you can take note of all the different skin folds and wrinkling of the skin all throughout the stomach, once again making that area in general look very real as well. You can kind of get a sense of the skin being pulled as this leg is pushing back. Very nice muscle tone here in the thigh of the rear leg, and as you move down, look how big and bulky the calf muscle is. Very large and bulky, very nice looking. Beautifully painted nails once again with that very nice gloss on the rear legs. Really beautifully done, even on the underside actually of the feet. Really beautiful sculpt work down there as well. And then you get out here to the tail. You can again take note of all sorts of wrinkling and folds of the skin as the tail comes out to a nice short point. And then if we look at this side, once again the head sculpt looks great up there. And then we come down, you can take note of the shoulder blade quite nicely protruding from the skin. Very nice attention to detail in this general area with the way the skin is reacting to the movement of the dinosaur. You can also kind of see the skin and the body bunching up. Even the stomach in general appears to be being pushed in a little bit as far as this leg pushing into the body as it's taking a step forward with the other leg, and this leg is now trailing behind. You can also get a sense of the musculature here in this leg as well. And then once again, those very nicely and beautifully painted nails. You can come up into the stomach and take note of some more of those skin folds. And the very nice paint variation once again is really beautiful on this side. You can see again all those different sorts of greens and browns. Nice musculature here in the thigh of this rear leg. And then we move down, there's the nice calf muscle. Beautiful nails here on this side again with that nice light wash that they've done. Really bringing out the detail, and that's something that I don't think too many companies do as far as their nails go, is go the extra mile as far as a wash on the nails to bring out the detail of the nails and make them look very real. That's a very nice touch on the part of Recur. And then you can come back up into the tail, taking note of the very nice skin texture and that beautiful paint application that is applied with that green and the other variations of green. The underside also sports, if I can get this tag out of the way, the underside also sports some very nice sculpt and detail. Not quite as nice as what you see on the upper side, of course, but it is still quite good. And overall, it's a very nice looking Triceratops. As far as the size goes on this Triceratops, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, it's a pretty decently sized Triceratops. It's pretty big. You're looking at about 9.5 inches or about 24 centimeters in a length, and for a height, about 4.5 inches or about 11.5 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is our buddy the Green Paparex, and now you can really see just how large this Triceratops is. If I were the Green Rex, I would not even make an attempt at this Triceratops because he's going to catch a horn straight in the throat. But you can see that this is a fairly sizable Triceratops, as it seems most Recur figures are pretty decently sized. And one thing that is a plus about these, and that they're a large figure, but they're actually pretty soft. Like, these horns are bendable, and in general the body is quite flexible, so it's not a material like you get on a Papo or a Collecte or anything. It's not anything hard, you can't bend it. It is actually quite flexible, which is a huge plus if you're buying this for your children, because it's the type of figure that they can have really cool, really realistic looking dinosaur figures, but it's something that's not going to hurt another child or themselves if they happen to hit them with it, because they are in general really soft and very flexible. So that is a huge plus. But again, we got a little off topic, off track right there. The Paparex here is helping us get a good idea of the large size of this Recur Triceratops. So I will say with complete honesty that Recur is quite an impressive company as far as their figures go, and I'm really quite intrigued to get a hold of more in the very near future, hopefully, to review for you guys, because in general they are quite the majestic looking sculpts that they include, and in general have some very nice sculpt and very nice detail. And this one in general impresses me simply because of the paint that's applied. Looks very realistic and very nice. I am definitely a fan of this greenish paint scheme that they've done, but the fact that they've included so many different variations of like browns and greens and stuff throughout making it look very real with the way the skin tone looks, is definitely quite impressive to me. I also love the use of the wash on the nails and the horns and everything, really helping to elaborate all that detail and sculpt, and giving you a good idea of just how much work went into the actual sculpt of the figure itself. Again, I like the pose, as it really appears to be in a defensive pose, kind of defending its young against a predator. Very, very cool touch as far as that goes, and something you don't really see too often portrayed in Triceratops sculpts like this. I think that it's got a very upright stance, really giving you that idea that that's what it's doing. And if you combine all of those with the fact that it's a softer material, so if you are buying it or looking to buy a dinosaur figure for one of your children, this figure is definitely not a bad way to go, and in general, Recur is not a bad way to go as far as that little issue, because their figures are all made of this very soft, similar material. So when it comes to buying a figure for a child, these are a great decision, so it's a huge plus as far as them being very safe. So, without question, this is quite the appealing Triceratops to me, and definitely a recommendation out of me if you are interested. I would say go ahead, search out some Recur figures, and give them a shot, because I think they're much better than people give them credit for, and they are a fairly underrated dinosaur figure company. Again, it may not be the most scientifically accurate Triceratops, but it is still quite the looker, I would say, as far as how nicely done the overall detailing, paint, and everything goes. So if you do want to buy this Triceratops, I will throw a link in the description for you to where you can purchase one for yourself. And as I said, it's a definite recommendation out of me. This is 2 for 2 as far as Recur goes when it comes to my collection. I definitely like both figures. So go ahead, click the description, follow that link, and go buy yourself some Recur dinosaur figures today. But before you do that, do not forget to please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.